Alright, this is about the truth of American gun laws, because a lot of people, they talk about things that they don't understand, they don't know, they're just too stupid to comprehend. Okay, a large portion of people, they'll go off like hearsay, well, I heard they can do this and they can do that, blah blah blah. A large portion of that knowledge is dated and is retarded and is done purely off the emotions of a scared individual. Now, let's talk here. Let's go with the first bit here. Fully automatic weapons. They are legal. Yes, they are. However, they're expensive to own. Not because they're full auto, but because the taxes involved, the paperwork involved. Cheapest full auto weapon I'd seen cost $15,000, and that was an Israeli Uzi. And that was being sold on Impact Guns before the Dianne Feinstein weapons ban, and that was when I was like 14. Just started getting into guns. I'm now 22. Now, that being said, it's a firearm. Now, other things like silencers, yeah, also class 3. Requires paperwork. I believe that, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, fully automatic weapons, you can't own them unless they're bought before 1981. They have to be produced before that age. I could be wrong. Somebody answer me. Now, continuing on with this idea, you can't buy a rifle anywhere you can on the United States. They act like you can buy a firearm at every gas station, at every grocery store. No, 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 no. The only place where I can buy a firearm and my dinner, unless you're buying like camp out food like MREs or something like that, the only place I can think of, Walmart. And they don't sell anything besides hunting rifles anyways. The biggest thing I'd seen them sell was an AR-15 Wish It Was that only shot .223. Not 5.56, .223. Piece of shit. And it was a disappointment of a rifle. Now, that being said, let's continue on. What else do I want to talk about? Buying guns off the internet. Okay, unless it's Curio and a Relic, you can't have the damn thing shipped just to your house. No, it doesn't happen that way. It does not happen that way at all. Curio and Relics, if you're a felon, you can't have that. You cannot have a Curio and Relic license. And there's only a certain amount of people who can have Curio and Relic licenses. You gotta go through a bunch of paperwork, the same as you would when you go through a Class 3, except it doesn't take more than a couple months in order to get that thing back. Whereas Class 3 items, that can take a couple months to a year. Now, let's say I go on to one of these gun broker websites like, well, Gun Broker. That requires that you go have that thing shipped in through an FFL. FFLs, they do this thing called the NICS system where they look at you. FFLs are also the places where you always get your guns. Guess what? Walmarts have FFLs. Your sporting goods stores that sell guns, FFLs. The only time you don't go through an FFL is in private sales, and I'll elaborate on that later. Now, FFL. Going back to that. They check this thing called the NICS system. They look at your license. If something comes up on the NICS system that they don't like, they don't sell you the gun. If you bought it off the internet, they don't give you the gun. They send it back to the place where they got it. I think you still have to pay the transfer fee. I think that really just depends on whoever. You're then going to have to talk to the person that you bought the gun from or whatever about getting your money back. Regardless of which, you're fucked. That in itself may possibly be an illegal act in which can get you sent to jail. I do not quite know. Felons owning guns, not legal. If you're a felon, the only way you can get a firearm is if you're on like the witness protection whatever. And even that's rare. Let me see here. What else? What did I miss? Age limits? It's usually 18 for rifles, 21 for handguns, but that varies depending on state to state. State to state. The laws are different per state to state. Most countries these days have provinces, while the United States, well, we have states, which, well, like provinces, except that we don't follow the laws of one overbearing government. We have state law, and then we have federal law. State law says that this thing right here, this is a Pro Mag 15-round magazine. It's a piece of shit. 15 rounds is illegal in the state of California. It's illegal in the state of New York, New Jersey, and I don't know if Illinois has changed their laws, but I'm just going to say them too. Now, anything else? If you got questions, just feel free to ask me. I will answer you. But the laws in America are a lot more complicated than you think. They drop in parts to make a gun full auto. Those also require tax stamps and all that other crazy shit. And they cost quite a bit. But I digress. There's a lot of crap that just people don't understand. I will tell you the truth to the best of my knowledge, and if I don't have an answer, I will get you one. Anyways, that's all. Have a good one.